If you have a regular 9 to 5 and you want to build wealth and become a millionaire, it's very possible, but it starts with what you do with your paycheck. I spent 7 years working in finance, helping millionaires and billionaires increase their wealth. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the most important things that you must do immediately you get paid if you are serious about building wealth. The first thing you must do when you get your paycheck, or even before, is determine your margin. Your margin is the difference between your income and your expenses. Your margin is the most important number for building wealth. The higher your margin, the faster you can build wealth. The lower your margin, the slower you can build wealth. Hard facts. Now, how do you determine your margin every paycheck? Yes, immediately you get paid, the first thing you want to do is not to start spending money. No, the first thing you want to do is to review last month or last 2 weeks. If you get paid every month, review last month. If you get paid every 2 weeks, review the last 2 weeks. I want you to review your expenses. What did you spend money on the last 2 weeks? How much was your rent and utilities? How much did you spend on food, on transport, on shopping, on personal care, giving to people, on miscellaneous, on eating out? Ideally, you should have been tracking this. If you do not know how to track your expenses, I have a video that I'll link here about how I track my expenses. You should have been tracking this, so it should be easy for you to just pull up that information. But if you're not tracking this, it's not that difficult. Take your banking app, your credit card statement, and just review what your expenses have been. The reason why it's important for you to review this is I want you to determine what your needs are. Your needs should not be more than 50% of your paycheck. So if your needs have been more than 50%, that means that there is room or opportunity for you to reduce that so you can increase your margin. But whatever your expenses are today, you want to just determine what they are by reviewing last month or last 2 weeks. Once you've done that, I want you to create a budget. Yes, for the next month. Never spend money from your paycheck without a budget. The budget is so important. Create a budget. What are you going to spend this money you just received on in the next 2 weeks or in the next month, depending on the frequency of when you are paid? How much will you spend on your utilities, so rent, phone bill, light bill, all that? How much will you spend on transport? How much will you spend on food, on shopping? Now, some of these expenses will be the same on a month-on-month basis. For example, your rent will be the same. Your food may be the same if there's no change in the way you live your life. Your transport will be the same, but there may be some variable expenses like shopping or personal care. Maybe you paid for your nails last month. Do you want to pay for your nails to get your nails done? Maybe you bought some makeup last month. Are you buying something else this month? Like, these are things that you want to check. If you have regular debt payments, that will probably be the same from month to month. So you want to create a budget, look at your needs, make sure that they are below 50%, then look at your other expenses like shopping, giving, any project that you have in mind. Maybe you're planning a trip, or you're planning a wedding, or you're planning something else, and you're putting money away towards that. You want to put all that together and then see what your margin is. If you take your income, you backed out your needs, you backed out some of your wants, what is left? Now, that's the first step to determine your margin. Depending on the size of your margin, I'm going to push you here to always look for ways to increase your margin. Every paycheck, you want to be asking yourself, is this the best I can do? Can I cut something out? Can I not shop this week? Can I do my nails myself? I not have to pay for my nails this month. Can I take the bus instead of taking an Uber? Can I say no to the dinner party that my friend is hosting that I know I would have to pay something for? Every month when you get your paycheck, you want to be asking yourself these important questions and take every opportunity to increase your margin. I'm going to walk you through 6 important buckets that you need to allocate your margin to every month if you're serious about building wealth. Now, these buckets, they work like a champagne tower. They work like a champagne tower. You know a champagne tower where like you stack glasses at the bottom, and then you have like 2 or 3 tiers of glasses, and then you're pouring the champagne at the top, and then the champagne gets filled from the first glass, and then it spills up to the other ones. That's how I want you to think about these 6 buckets. You may not fill all 6 of them, and you start from the top till you get to the bottom. So they are ordered in order of increase in importance. The first bucket that I want you to put your margin in is your emergency fund. Your emergency fund is a cash cushion set aside for unexpected expenses, and your emergency fund should be at least 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. I have a full video about emergency funds. I'm going to link that up here, so I won't go into as much detail about it in this video. But every month you want to be reviewing your emergency fund and asking yourself if you still have enough in your emergency fund. Things change from month to month. Maybe your living standards have increased and therefore your emergency fund needs to be increased. Or maybe last month you borrowed some money from your emergency fund, which you should not be doing, by the way. But let's say you did that and now you need to put the money back. So every month I want you to review your emergency fund and ask yourself, do I need to put more money in? Have I got into 3 to 6 months of expenses? If yes, you can mark this step, check, done, and move on to the next step. If no, you can put money into your emergency fund. And if you still have money left, move on with me to the next bucket. Second bucket is I want you to pay down any debt that has interest rates higher than 7%. Again, I mentioned this in other videos. There is no point in investing in anything if you have debt that is higher than 7%. Think about it this way. Investing in the stock market or in some index fund that will give you some form of return, maybe 7% or 15% or whatever, it sounds exciting. But the difference between paying down your debt and investing is the return from your investment is not guaranteed. You may invest your money in some stock today and get 15% interest rate. And then 3 months from now, tariffs may come in and boom, the market has gone down and you've lost your interest. However, an interest on your debt is guaranteed. Nothing affects interest on debt. Tariff does not affect it. The government does not affect it. Nothing. And there's some debts that even death does not separate you from some debt. Some debt that you have that even bankruptcy does not separate you from them. Okay, debt, it can be a monster. It can be a leech. So the interest on your debt is guaranteed. The interest on your investment is not guaranteed. This one is guaranteed 7%. And it's also compounding. Like, compound interest also applies to your debt the same way it applies to investment. So if you have any debt that's above 7%, I want you to pay it down. Pay the minimum payment and then some, right? Pay it down as much as possible. If this does not apply to you, you can skip this step and mark it checked. The third bucket is your 401k match. I want you to max out your 401k match if you have not yet done it. The 401k is a tax advantage savings account. I have a full video about retirement accounts that I will link here if you want more detail. Many employers offer what you call a match. And some of these employers would not give you your match except you've contributed up to the limit. So they may tell you to contribute maybe 10K and then they'll match it by 5%, whatever it is. Identify if your employer offers 401k and if they offer a 401k match. If yes to these two, you want to know what's the minimum you want to contribute into your 401k to get the match, because that match is free money. That match is part of your compensation and you should not leave any money on the table if you're serious about building wealth. So if you've not contributed to your 401k up to the match, you need to put some of the extra money in your paycheck into that, so that you can reach the match and you can get the extra money. The more money you have in your 401k, the more that is being invested and the more that you're building towards wealth. The fourth bucket is also similar to this. It is max out your Roth IRA. Again, I have details about the Roth IRA in my video about retirement account linked above that you can go and watch. The fifth important bucket is to invest in yourself. I love to see on this channel that you are your most important asset. You are your most important asset. And if you're not investing in yourself, that's not good. You're not building wealth at all. So again, Champagne Tower, if after doing all this, you have extra money, look into ways that you can invest in yourself. What new skills can you learn? How can you use your money to expand your network? How can you use your money to deepen your expertise? Is there a certification course that you can take, something you can study for? Can you improve your appearance? Maybe learn how to do public speaking, learn how to be a manager, learn how to manage people, improve the way you look, the way you dress, improve your executive presence, improve your tonation, improve whatever it is that you think you need to improve in your life, right? Take some money and invest it. When it was in my 20s and I was applying this strategy, I used to invest 3% of my income every month into my personal development. And that's why I have so many books at the background. I would buy books, I would buy courses, I would go for conferences, I'll buy clothes some months. I will use some of the money to take some people out for coffee, right? So I had a standing 3% in my budget that I used to invest in myself. So this is a very, very powerful, and I know that it was very helpful to me in building wealth and achieving, the wealth level that I have now. And the last bucket is invest in regular brokerage funds like index funds or, other mutual funds. So if you have extra money, put it in investment, put your money to work for you. And the earlier you start investing, the better. I'm sure that this video was very helpful. If you want to learn more about retirement accounts, 401k, Roth IRA, maybe you don't know what they are, or you don't know why they're important, what to contribute, when to contribute, then my videos about retirement accounts will be very, very helpful for you. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.